G'day folks. Let's have another look at Elise and see what's going on with her. So far tonight I've popped the little crank position sensor out and made sure there's not a big bundle of metal files stuck to it. It's fine and clean, and the problem persisted after starting her up and moving her up close to the workshop. So that wasn't the cause. A few people have mentioned air in the fuel system. I've fixed all that. I'm using industrial petrochemical hose and stuff just temporarily. I'm going to get the proper moulded lines eventually, these ones. But for now I've sort of made my own, and they're not restricted and they're not letting air in. So all that's good. It just doesn't look the prettiest. But at least they're nice and clear and I can see what's going on inside. So yeah, we're good there. Now, one thing I've noted before, especially when I did the injector service, like every single time I've gone to do a safety, like wrapped this whole area and everything in thick rag mats and sheet metal and cracked that line, nothing has come out. Not until I've taken a line off elsewhere has anything come out of that flare. Now, I've been told after 30 minutes or so of sitting, this rail should still have about 30,000 psi in it. This has absolutely nothing in it after about 5 to 10 minutes, so it's going somewhere, and it's probably the root cause of the problem. The airflow temperature issue is probably incidental, because the MAF appears to be working. I haven't put a DSO across it or a DSO across this yet, but I'm going to take that little guy in the back there off, the fuel pressure regulator, and see if it's in reasonable condition, or if its high pressure to low pressure seals are alright. So yeah, let's have a bit of a look at it, and yeah, I've got to get in. I'm done cleaning it. I'll put a rag mat down there to catch any fuel and go from there. This camera needs battery charge again. I'll prepare a little bit better, but you know how it goes. I should really screw that in. The MAF meter's just kind of stuck in there with the O-ring. Yeah, anyway, she's still rather grumpy, and probably that close to a engine stall after startup. It's not funny. Like the alternator even basically gives up. The cabin light just starts flickering and carrying on, because the alternator's almost dropping out and then coming back in and dropping out, and it's almost near the point where the ECU is going to go, nah, screw it, I've had enough, I'm going to throw a big code and you're not going to like it. So it's either drive it to the point where that happens and probably even have to get it towed home, or try and find the problem, and that's my main objective tonight. I'm going to get the fuel pressure regulator off and see if it's blown out. Because I've had a few comments pertaining to that little item, and apparently it's a problem with these engines. The other issue could be backflow or a weak pump. A check valve on the outlet side of the pump is failing. That can be easily removed. It's right on the front here, and sent off to AG Diesel for bench testing. Basically, they've got like $250,000 bench testing machine that they can put any of this stuff on and test it for me. So that's a last resort. Anyway, let's charge this camera back up and see how we go. Okay, well, got the little regulator out. One thing I forgot to mention is please be absolutely sure that you're safe when dealing with these common rail systems. Full operating pressure is about 60,000 psi. It's probably about the same pressure you'd find in similar to a 7.62 NATO rifle chamber. At the moment the powder all goes up. It's a lot of pressure, so yeah. Anyway, it doesn't look horribly bad. There's some pitting around there, and I wonder if that seal in the middle's gone there. That little Teflon one. There's definitely pitting, but it's not diabolical. Not sure. I'll give it a clean up and a closer examination, even use the USB microscope, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have a reliable way of testing it, so this is probably where a DSO comes into it. I'll have to get the HP DSO back off Julian and have a bit of a poke around. Yeah, anyway, it's worth a shot. Okay, so the FP reg looks okay. There's a little bit of scarring on the side there, which is a little bit odd. Can't tell if the seals aren't blown apart, but again, I don't know what constitutes leaking and what not. I really need to attach something to that and shove some compressed air through it just to see if it does leak down. But the coil pack itself's all distorted on the back of it, like it's gotten hot and really, it's just distorted. The plastic packaging's all bumpy now. Normally they're a completely flat object, and it only reads 3.7 ohms. So yeah, I'm going to shove, well, I put it across the lab power supply and it just trips out on overcurrent. It's only a 3 amp power supply. This thing's just wanting more. It's it's pegging the 3 amp power supply and doing nothing, so I'm wondering if the coil in it's bad and it's just relying on sheer pressure to pop the thing open. It might explain the excess diesel smoke as well. I wonder if the rail pressure's too high, not too low, which is kind of scary. We've gone from being a normal rifle chamber pressure to probably an overcharged rifle chamber pressure. I really don't know. I'll have to buy I'd love to buy a cheap little tool just to plug into the rail pressure sender, or just probe it with and find out. Yeah, I'm wondering if this is supposed to be PWM controlled or not. I'm guessing it would be. It wouldn't just be an on-off solenoid. It's got to be pulsed or something, but got to be a way of testing this thing. Let's find out. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if that little scar there is a sign of internal failure. I don't know. This thing probably needs back pressure on there to operate. There's just a feeling in the back of my mind that this thing does need to be under line pressure, rail pressure, to actually snap the solenoid in. The coil probably doesn't quite have enough oomph to pull that little needle back unless the rail's under pressure, so I won't poke it anymore with voltage. I'll just leave it. Yeah, I'll just talk to a friend down the street who works on these things, local prestige mechanic, and just see what he says. I know he's probably going to want me to bring the vehicle in and work on it himself, but I'm open to that as well. Might just be the time I get him to look at it and put the star tool on it. Anyway, I've had a play around with this thing here. The rail, I've taken my inspection camera and checked out the inside of the rail where this fits in, and it's clean and there's no obvious scarring or anything like that. Yeah, so solenoid doesn't do anything. It still takes about 38 to 40 watts of power, 3.7 ohms resistance, but I'm thinking it will need rail pressure behind that tiny little needle in there to operate properly and modulate the rail pressure. It's obviously pulse controlled, but I'd still expect that needle to snap back if I energized it. But again, it probably needs pilot pressure as well. So there you go. Oh well, that's enough for tonight. I'm exhausted. Been a busy week, and it will be the rest of the week. So yeah, thanks for watching. Okay. Apparently shorting it across a battery, bashing it on a piece of wood, and just generally messing around with it fixed the fuel pressure regulator. That's my problem. This isn't going to be helping. That's only getting 0.8 of a volt and probably isn't working. So it's still getting incorrect air temperature readings, but the grunting is gone. And she responds properly. Beautiful. So yeah, sticky and very, very old and degraded fuel pressure regulator. Look at that. Even on all 5. That's what I want. All new injectors, new spill lines, new feeder lines. High pressure pumps working fine. Yeah. Fuel pressure regulator's sticking. So I'm going to order a new one anyway. It's still not 100%, and it will do it again. It will play up again. But I'm going to replace it and be done with it. see there's new fuel lines, like proper fixed lines, and get the old housing back in there. I'm using a Sprinter 2.7 fuel canister filter, but I've actually got the original cartridge type to put back in when I get the proper rigid lines. Oh, that's so nice to know that's the problem. I mean, it's a $200 part, but shit, it's going to cost more than $200 to send the high pressure pump off if I had to. It's just even if I did that before, I'd still get the occasional pop and fart and random issues. So yeah, what can I say? Oops, I'm gonna get that way. Yeah, what can I say? Persistence. The issue with the intake air temperature is still going to be a problem. I mean, I don't have my I still need to plug a phone in with Wi-Fi on it before it'll pick up the input. But when we first set this up, the boost worked fine, throttle worked fine, coolant temperature's fine, speed's fine, RPM's fine. Intake air was like -40, and at some points it had jumped to like +140 Celsius. So something's still weird there. I'm still going to be suffering some economy issues, but that really weird grunting, just the progressive issue's gone for now. But that valve will play up again. It's cooked. The solenoid coil's seen better days. I'm thinking just me whacking it on the bench and putting power across it has just seated it again, and the rail's sort of found its own happy little pressure and it's staying there. I'm sure if I got out and hit it with a hammer again, it'd do something different, but who knows. It's just one of those weird little Mercedes-Benz gremlins, or common rail gremlins anyway. This could happen to the best of vehicles. Let's try it. Yeah, we're in gear, and I can hear all cylinders firing normally. There's no starving, there's no pinking and pinging and carrying on. Yep. Drive. Try. Yeah. If I did that in gear, like that, like foot hard on the brakes, rev it up to about 1200 in gear normally, like a couple of days ago, she'd be coughing and sputtering and carrying on, and obviously just not enough fuel pressure. Torque Pro doesn't do Mercedes-Benz Star communications, unfortunately. I'm sure one day somebody will release a free application that does it. I mean, the digital age is advancing so fast. We've got our own little fucking tablet in the dashboard now, and sooner or later someone's going to do a Mercedes-Benz app, which I hope they do, and yeah, that'll be fantastic. Won't have to spend $1,000 on a Star tool. So yeah, anyway, I'll give her a good clean up and good run tomorrow, and yeah, don't ask why there's black boxes in here. I mean, funny thing is, you don't really need a flight recorder in a vehicle, because A, you've got digital recording in here, and B, the ECU monitors everything the engine does. So a flight data recorder would actually be, even though it'd be a cool little toy, it'd be completely irrelevant, because our ECU is our own flight data recorder. It's our little driving data recorder. It records, it remembers your driving habits, it records codes and faults if something goes wrong. It's basically that, which is essentially an old school magnetic tape drive with a digital, analog to digital converter. This just does it digital to digital, solid state. So yeah, the two are similar. The ECU and the flight recorder are similar. This is just designed to withstand far more abuse. Obviously it's a crash thing, the ECU isn't. Although a lot of trucks do come with black boxes these days, and even some passenger vehicles and fleet, particularly fleet vehicles. If you want to know what your fleet is doing and what your drivers are doing, buy one of those aftermarket black box systems and have it fitted, because it's quite interesting. That and a GPS tracker. Yeah, she's happy now. Good girl. I love this car. Frustrating at times, but I love it. Not bad for the mileage that she's done. I thought she'd done 360, but she hasn't quite done 360,000. That'll be the, probably this year she'll hit 360,000. But yeah, as people have said, these engines are in Mercedes-Benz Sprinters, E-Class, all those vehicles, and they're known for good mileage. They just have a few quirky little problems, but we can fix that. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this rambly, half completely exhausted attempt at fixing a car. It is the middle of the week, and I don't normally do this, but for the win.